There we go. Now you can see everything. I'm doing something a little different. Oh, it's not letting me use the flash. Okay, hopefully you can hear me. That's a little out of focus. So we'll do this, I guess. We'll just go taller with it. I know you guys get to see all my junk. Alright, that's at least a little better, I guess. So, I'm doing something a little more chill. And I wanted to see how it all works. There we go. So, it's a little out of focus, but you guys can deal with it. I'm just going to color. That's all. I'm just gonna color. Talk to you guys. If you guys want to talk to me, you can talk to me, and we'll just see what happens. So, gotta get all the color pencils out. That's part of the fun. Listen to them. I shouldn't put them there. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna do this a little differently next time, but that's okay. So first off, I just want to thank Mr. Bill Becker, who will probably never watch this, for I'm trying to pull some shenanigans here. For the coloring book. I know, this is why I should never multitask. I'm still going. Okay. Nobody's watching. Nobody's gonna watch. It's okay. So, what the hell, Twitch? Why can't I just watch myself? Because I want to see the chat. That's all. That's all I want. I want to see the chat. And it's because it's Xbox that I can't. Alright. Anyway, there's a way I could do it, but this is just the prototype. So, here we go. Coloring with Joe. Just doing a little, It's Monday. Your week just started. Do a little chill out. I spent the day working. And then I started my Fiverr back up. Which is JoePanc, not JoePanc. Trying to get some of that extra cash. Saw the HeroClix convention exclusives got previewed finally. Oh yeah, there we go. I like purples. I don't think enough purples get used in general. This is it, man. But yeah, okay, Bill got me this for my birthday, because my birthday was a couple weeks ago. And I appreciate that. So I thought, why not put it to use? Probably only going to do this once a week, maybe twice. Not going to do it a lot, though. I do have a Turtles coloring book I could use, too. But, what the hell is this stuff? I don't even know. But I figure, fuck it. Just pick a page. Oh, here you go. Because it's a Cthulhu coloring book. Because I do a comic called Cthulhu Homes. So it's, it's kind of my thing. It's one of my things. It's not my only thing, but... So that's why he got me this as a nice little gift. It's the only birthday present I got. Wah, wah. But yeah, so I thought just color, and it's all Lovecraftian shit, so, oh no, I said shit, but that means I can get a little weirder with it, because people go a little too, I feel, people get a little too mundane sometimes. I mean, Cthulhu Homes is a comedy strip, It's an adventure, but it's also kind of played for laughs, more lighthearted. So I don't go real crazy. But I still will do, you know, some crazy colors every now and again. I don't know. And I'm not even thinking, I'm just coloring. I'm not even thinking how this crazy thing's going to end up. But probably should. It's actually kind of nice. It's kind of nice just talking. Don't really have much specifically to talk. I mean, there's things I could talk about, but people might watch this, so don't want it to be too cast in aspersions. This is really calming. So you know, guys, just think about it. Don't be afraid to color. Bust out a coloring book and just get to it. I think we're done with that green for now. Hey, one viewer, how you doing? I can't see if you talk to me. I gotta figure that out. Boom, boom. Let's go with some Panc. Oh, there you go. I'm not offline. You're lying. All right. Snowed last night. I'm in New York. For all you people that want to stalk me, which is nobody. Snowed last night. It's all gone now. But that was our little April Fool's joke for the day. Oh. Maybe that's the little objective I'll set for myself. Every page that I color, I'll find a way to use every colored pencil in the box. It's one of the 24, classic 24 pack. That'd be an interesting little experiment. I mean, like on this, look at this thing. This could be any color I want. But Lovecraft himself's actually in here. Because people love doing that. So that would actually be kind of challenging. Just it could be kind of psychedelic with it. Guess I'm getting kind of psychedelic with this too. And let me know. You know, you can message me through Twitch. I'm on Twitter. Just look for JoePanc, JoePanc, wherever you are. Oh, my one viewer left. Just kind of go wherever you want. There you go. That's what I want. Now I can see things. All right. Send me a message. See, you know, be somewhat supportive. You don't have to be a shithead, but hey, just hey, that was cool. You should do that more, or I mean, I get it. All this shit on Twitch. You're gonna watch a 33-year-old man fucking color in this jacked up coloring book. Oh yeah, I like that. I don't know what I'm. It's like a glass effect. I just don't know what I want to do with it. I wonder if I was my own viewer. I was just talking to myself. Yeah, because I'm my own viewer now. That's funny. And depressing. But, you know. It's coloring with Joe. What do I expect? Got Rock States coming up this weekend. That's HeroClix. For anyone who doesn't know, look it up. ROC. HeroClix is with an X. Should be able to figure that out, I hope. That should be fun. New York State's is Saturday, so I'll be heading out to Buffalo for that. Should be a decent little day. Got another episode of my podcast dropping Wednesday. Yeah, we'll go with Panc. That's Joe Meets World. It's my Boy Meets World podcast. It's gaining. I mean, I'm not advertising or anything besides like my social groups. So, but it's on iTunes and it's actually getting some traction on iTunes. So that's promising. Why are these eyes crying? Like, is this just one of those cases where some unsuspecting mortal was transformed into some elder abomination? And that's why it's crying? Because all these eyes are suddenly able to perceive the true, terrible horror, folded horror of it all. That's what I should do. You know, again, if anybody cares, as I figure out the whole shape of this little show, I guess you could call it. Yeah, you can kind of. I do wish I had it set up. I was going to use my flashlight camera because I'm using my phone to stream right now. And I wanted to use the flashlight camera or flashlight on the phone to put some more light on this, because I would have actually positioned it differently if I knew I was going to be casting shade, which I don't know why I can't. Hold on, no, I want all that. That's fine. Hate that. All right, anyway, because it's a nice bright flashlight. You'd really be able to see this better if I did that, but okay, actually, let's see here, because it's got the little inscription. But that's what I was going to say. Maybe I'll read the little inscription before I color the page to set the scene in the future. It was a terrible, indescribable thing, vaster than any subway train. A shapeless congeries of protoplasmic bubbles, faintly self-luminous and with myriads of temporary eyes forming and unforming as pustules of greenish light all over the tunnel, filling front that bore down upon us, crushing the frantic penguins and slithering over the glistening floor that it and its kind had swept so evilly free of all litter. So I guess that's what this is, I suppose. It's actually, I started laughing because when I was researching for Cthulhu Homes, that was one of my favorite things. Because, you do something called Cthulhu Homes, you gotta have some actual Lovecraftian influences. So I actually did look up at the Mountains of Madness, and the Eldritch gods actually fed the Shoggoths. Is this a Shoggoth? Is that what this is, actually? This might be a Shoggoth. But they fed on giant blind albino penguins, which I think is just a fucking hilarious visual. Just 6 foot tall penguins that are white because they're albino, blind, bumbling around the Antarctic. Well, no, Mountains of Madness wasn't in Antarctica, but still. Why would you feed on giant penguins? I guess they would have been Antarctica because it's penguins, but I don't know. It's It's all crazy. And that's why I actually made fun of that in at the Mansions of Madness comic. I had him be 6 foot tall albino hummingbirds. Because you can do penguins, I can do a hummingbird. I don't know why not. Nah. Green's always good. But green's too easy. That's why I'm kind of avoiding it a bit. Oh, it's Cthulhu. Everything has to be green. You know, it could be blue. Why not? They're fourth dimensional beings from outside of time. They don't even know what color is. Actually, spoiler alert, not really. I always wanted to do an interpretation of Cthulhu. Still could have at some point. Or like Narthalep or something. Where just a very nondescript, kind of boring middle-aged man in like a white suit. And that'd be their true form, because I just like the whole thing about the elder gods were that perceiving them would drive you mad. Which is actually very biblical in origin too, but perceiving them would drive you crazy. And I always thought, why wouldn't that just be just boring? Like just so nondescript that it basically breaks your brain because you just can't. You're like, what? It's just nothing there. All that for this. But, you know, what do I know? I'm just here talking to myself. Streaming it on Twitch. Hoping someone pays attention. Eventually. Oh, yeah, that'd be good up there. Gotta get you some brown and your green, son. I have to look at what, do it at a different time, maybe. This was kind of... I put it off. I wasn't going to do it. And then I thought, you know what? Why not do it? Just to see. Just to give her the old college try. So here I am. Rambling. Lord, I was born a rambling man. Keep hitting the table, which I'm sure sounds great. Oh, ooh. It's a nice little mucous membrane there. I'm definitely going to do it for this first one. As I drop my brown pencil. Is that what they call it nowadays? I don't know. I'm going to use every color. Try to. Gotta work on getting a vehicle here soon. Been without a vehicle since about October last year. Still go to work. Luckily my boss is cool. Lets me use the work van. So I can get groceries, I can do laundry, I can go to work. That's I really appreciate that, but I'd like to have my own wheels again. I'll do that. Let's have my own wheels again, and like Saturday, I said I'm going out to Buffalo. I'd like to be able to drive myself out to Buffalo, when my work van sucks in the snow, which I live in New York. Snow's kind of a ever-present thing for a few months. Hell, like I said, it snowed today in April, so I want to get myself some four-wheel drive again, so I don't have to worry about the weather. I could just take it when I want. Know I'm going to be okay. And then all any of us really want, just to know we're going to be okay. That's tough. It's tough a lot of times. A lot of times, you might feel okay. But depending on who you are, you might look at what's going on in the world and worry and think, am I gonna be okay tomorrow? Am I gonna be okay next week? You don't know. And sometimes you can't know. It's terrible. It's a terrible thing to think. Which is why it can drive people kind of crazy sometimes, but it's how it goes, I guess. I don't know. So that's why I try. I mean, I'm an asshole, but I try to be polite. I try to be kind. I really do. Because life sucks. Life doesn't suck. Life can suck. Life can suck out of nowhere. Think. Sometimes you think you found true love, and then you take the red eye back from the conference, and a couple of naked people will hop out of your closet like a goddamn magic show. That is an old school quote for those unaware. And it is one of my favorite. Because I've never had that happen, luckily. Never been at like a conference and then just, come home and, hey, she's cheating on you. Oh, because I'm hetero. I like pussy. So it would be a she in my case. But yeah. Been cheated on plenty of times. Just luckily never had to really walk in on it. Which it would suck. I can only imagine. I mean, just emotional cheating is fucking, not emotional, physical, but I only have to deal with it. I've only had to deal with it after the fact. That fucking sucks. But that's because, I have unresolved feelings of inadequacy. So that's my bullshit to deal with. Oh yeah, I knew it was gonna happen. Still it's very chill out for me, but start talking, start Bob Rossing it up, and things are gonna come out. This is looking nice and fucked up. Sorry for hitting the table. Like I said, I know what I'm gonna do next time. Make it better. But no, I don't want blood. I mean, but ooh. Actually, to have that creepy moon. It's always been my problem. In life, no. In color. I know the basic principles of shading, and I want to turn this, but I want you... Actually, what the hell am I doing? Look, I can color this upside down. That's fine. But I understand hatching and cross-hatching and blending so you can't see the marks. But my issue is I have trouble with using the same amount of pressure the whole time. So what ends up happening is that, where you see the lines, not because of a lack of method, but because I go heavier or lighter or what have you. But, you know, I do want the craters. I think the craters should be darker, create a weird effect. This feels really good. I've said it before, and it is. I know it's not necessarily a popular thing, but it's definitely, creative therapy is a thing. Of like, just sit down, just color, talk about your bullshit, process things, work it through, try to work it through. And there's something to it, just because it's, you know, whatever your problems are, when you sit there and just focus on them and twist, what is upside down with this? I mean, sure, those are clouds and that's a moon, but come on. But no, you sit there and you twist, and that's why things can just feel overwhelming, because it's just too much. It's not that it's too much. I mean, not to be that guy, because I'm not. Everything's relative. But our ancestors, whoever they were, used to have to worry about a fucking tiger eating them in the middle of the night. You know, the Iroquois lived here in New York, and they had longhouses. But think about it, before the longhouses, before they figured out, hey, let's build a giant fire and funnel it in this big old building, like, they'd have to survive in Fahrenheit, below freezing temperatures and 20-degree temperatures, and, you know, I don't want that because I don't want it to look like blood. It's just not my thing right now. But they'd have to, I shouldn't have done that because now it looks like it's part of the moon. I'll fix that later. But they would. Freezing temperatures with kids, with, you know, the elders. How am I going to keep them alive? How am I going to keep them warm? How are we going to find food? Because it's the middle of winter. Everybody's trying to sleep a little more. And that's, you know, I'd like that. I'd like to hibernate in the winter. Not literally. Our bodies aren't built for it. It's not healthy. But, you know, just work some shorter hours. Have some more time to yourself to stay warm. Spend time with your loved ones. Yeah, that's good for red. Why not? Oh, because we're not going to use white because white doesn't work. It's printed on a white page. What am I going to use white for? So we're using 23 colored pencils. Ooh. I may not use black because I'm using gray right now, and they're basically the same for colored pencils. If I really press down with this gray, guess what? I'm gonna get a pretty dark line. But I just, it'd be nice. And that's what used to be the idea of the holidays, Middle of winter, time to relax a little. Because, we need that. We do. Everybody needs a break. Not everybody's break is the same, but everybody needs a break. Oh, yeah, we can do that. That's fine. Everybody needs a break. It's just, nobody can go forever. And if you think you can, you're wrong. You are. It's just, something will catch up with you. And you might go 50 years. Okay, good. Good for you. You go 50 years. And then you just snap. You just run down. You just have that day. And better just to take some breaks along the way. Relax. Breathe a little. Remember why you're doing all this stupid shit. I don't know why I'm doing this stupid shit. No one relies on me. I'm single. Hey, ladies. But, no one relies on me. Could drop dead tomorrow, and it wouldn't really matter. Oh, sure it would, Joe. Nah. Not really. A couple people might go, oh, that sucks. For a little while, some people would miss me. But that's it. You know how I know? As I put the gun in my mouth? No gun. 'Cause no one checks in on me now. No one's like, hey Joe, what you doing? Want some cheese fries? Wanna go bowling? No, I wanna go bowling. I like cheese fries. But just no one there anymore. I try to keep my humor about me, because, what else am I gonna do? But it gets tough. It gets tough being alone all the time. It gets tough. The people you do try to wanna talk to or spend time with just are busy with their own shit, or don't want to do anything to do with you, or what have you. Like I said, it could just be busy. Doesn't mean, but it's still tough. Still sucks. I do like that. I like that vein work of just having these crazy ass colors. It just sucks. It's a cold. Could be worse. Could be in Somalia. But I'm not, so I'm gonna talk about my shit. And my shit is, we live in America, in a very cold, unforgiving world. Very cold, unforgiving country. In which we are separated from each other by any number of tribal markers. And it feeds that loneliness, which is why people do shit like this. I was the second generation to grow up with video games, basically. Not totally, but basically. And even for me, you're a kid, you want to play video games, go over to your buddy's house, I was still young enough, and I was fortunate to have a system where it was 2 controllers. So okay, we gotta switch off. Oh, who's gonna take Challenger? Oh, whose turn is it? But I still had to be in the room, and then I had the N64, and I had a couple buddies that would stay over, and so we'd have 4 matches. Super Smash Brothers. I had the original Super. I didn't have it. I rented it because I was gonna play it by myself, though I did. And we still had to be there, and now everyone's disconnected. So what do? We invent new ways to try and reconnect with each other. So we do Twitch. But we live in such a fucking starving ass world that we try to monetize it. I want more followers because I want to monetize this shit. So I could use the money. Like I said, I gotta get a Jeep. And if I really want to monetize, this might be a dumbass way to do it. It's like I said, who's gonna watch me color? But I don't know. Try and do something different. Try and do something nobody else is doing. Maybe reach people. Be like, yeah, that's cool. Maybe get to the point where people are in the chat talking to me. We could just talk about whatever bullshit while I color. Or you could be like, no, dude, color in the eye purple. It'd be awesome. It's just, all we're looking for is connection. All any of us are trying to find is a new connection. All I want. Not all I want. I want money. That's not why I'm doing this. But it is, but it's not. No, it's just validation. But not. You want friendly validation. You want friendship of just like, oh, hey, man. Good to see you. Glad you're here. You want someone to notice, like, hey, you're trying. Joe's trying. Joe's doing what he can. I'm only using my name because if you're watching this, you're not watching it while I'm doing it. You're watching it later. So I don't know your name. If you watched it live, I would know your name. But it's just honesty. Honesty's the hardest thing. Honesty's the hardest thing overall. No one wants honesty. Because there's nothing you can do with honesty. It's just there. I don't like you. Okay. What am I going to do? Can't change that. Can't. Oh, he doesn't really mean it. Not if you believe he's being honest. If you believe he's being honest, he means it. And then what do? I'm saying, I'll make sure it's in the shot. Yeah, there we go. You just have to take it and move on. Well, I guess he doesn't like me. Guess I'm going to have to go do something else now. Just leave him alone. Honesty's hard to deal with. There's a lot of power in it. But that's why a lot of people resent it. That's why a lot of people traffic in just lies. Because lies are easier. And lies aren't more powerful, but they let you get away with more, Because if... Look at the guy in the White House right now. If you think everyone's lying as much as you are, then they can't really... Oh, I need to bring that back out. Well, no, we're going to make that part of his membrane. They can't call you on your bullshit. And when they say something you don't like, oh, I don't like you. Well, you can just pretend. Oh, there you go. See, I gained and lost a viewer. You can just pretend. They don't really mean that. They don't know what they're talking about. They're just lying. It's dangerous, man. It's a dangerous, dangerous thing. I shouldn't be doing this yellow up here. Because I got the yellow in the liquid. In the tears pot. I don't mind it. It doesn't really pick up. Yeah, oh, actually, that picks up pretty... Actually picks up better. But yeah. That's why people... It's not why everyone lies. But it has its part to play. You know? It's an alibi. A lie. I'm a poet and I didn't even know it. Yeah, I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but I'm going for it. Alright, let's start filling in this center mass. Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Shogoth. That's what I'm gonna call this one. When I post it up on Instagram. That's good. I like that. I'm gonna do that. So hey, I appreciate it. If you're watching this, if you were that one person that just popped in and heard me ranting about lies and then was like, I'm getting the fuck out of here. If you're watching this later, I appreciate you. I appreciate you for encouraging my behavior. It's nice for someone to. Not to get too weepy, but you know. Oh, I am a rock. I am an island. I used to know the next line and I forgot. It's what? An island cries no tears? Something like that. This is a Technicolor, just horror show. I kind of love it though. Oh yeah, let's do some of that. Yeah. I should. There's a podcast I listen to. I'm on 2 podcasts of my own, but there's still another podcast I listen to called Matt and Mattingly's Ice Cream Social. Hey Scoops everywhere you could want it to be. Hey Scoops, H-E-Y, Scoops. And, oh yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do a little some of that. I was gonna say I should get their permission. because I was just listening. I've been listening to the back catalog, and I should get their permission to listen to the back catalog while I do this, so you guys would hear it. It'd creep in over the microphone, but I don't know. They're on Twitch too, Hey Scoops, so check it out. Give them a follow. They're worth it. They do some cool stuff. They used to live stream the show, and they're promising they're going to do it again, but I don't know what is going on with that. I mean, I can live stream a coloring book. Why can't they live stream in a nice studio? In case you couldn't tell, it's not a nice studio. Oh yeah, there we go. Just doing it with colored pencils, but creating my own little madness. Oh, I was always that kid. I think I still have some of that stuff too. I loved using highlighters because it was a vibrant color. It was just this bright, garish yellow. You know, I loved purples and greens, and just the louder, the better. And then it's ironic because, you know, then became a teenager, got into wrestling, like WWF, because that's what it was at the time. I ain't gonna call it the old stuff WWE. It was WWF at the time. And loved Stone Cold. And Stone Cold wore black. A lot of his designs were black. He had some grays towards the end. But, you know, the classic Austin 316 is black. So I started wearing a lot of black. And it wasn't, you know, wasn't a goth phase, it wasn't an emo phase, it was just the designs I liked were in black. I can still remember though, I believe her name was Charity. We weren't close, but I was in 8th grade, and our lockers in my middle school, the lockers were in classrooms. So even if you didn't have that class, the idea was that it was in that class, that you would have that class once a week at least. But even if you didn't have that class, that's where your locker was. Which I guess, whatever. I guess it makes sense. It's not a terrible idea. And I was just getting something. I wish I remember what that class was. I don't. But I was just getting something on my locker. And she just looks at me. And like I said, we weren't close. We didn't really talk. You know, I mean, she knew who I was. I knew who she was. We went to the same school of 200 students. But weren't friends. Maybe it had 5 sentences that we said to each other in the 2 years I was there at that point. And she just looks at me and she goes, "Do you own any other clothing that's not black?" And at the time, I was kind of taken aback by it. Not because I was offended per se, but I had clothes that weren't black. And even my black shirts, you know, had other colors on them. Tried to, at least. And I still thought of myself as a very colorful person. And I didn't really think of myself as just wearing black. You know, I wore blue jeans. It's not like I said, there were, you know, I mean, I knew some kids that were goth and emo and whatnot as time went on. And they wore black jeans. They wore, you know, I still had blue sweatshirts and, you know, what have you. But I was just like, yes. And it was just, there was no preamble. Just, do you own any other clothes besides, do you have anything that's not black? Like, yeah. Also, like, And this is what was always within me. Even though at the time I didn't curse. But in my heart was just kind of like a, who the fuck are you? Like, let's say I didn't have anything that wasn't black. Let's say that's all I wanted to wear was just black, 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 black. That's my fucking business. Like, is it not okay with you that I wear black? And if it's not, why the hell should I care? But, I mean, we're all kids. It was 8th grade. We're all fine, you know. It's one of those things I try to remind people of. Because the older you get, the more you forget. Like, we were all just trying to figure out who we were. And it doesn't necessarily mean how we viewed ourselves. But what does that mean to the world? How does the world view us, you know? And that was kind of the mistake not the mistake I made, but I knew who I was. And I had a very strong sense of how the world viewed me. But it was also very much reflected through my view of myself. And it's not, I don't know, it's tough. As an adult, people seem to, you know, they say like, oh, you know, people cry for authenticity or just being honest, or, you know, or in dating, like, oh, I just want a good guy, I just want a guy. And it's like, and it's hard for me to say because so much of this language has been weaponized by shitty people. You know, incels. Oh, I'm a good guy, women don't like. And it's like, listen, I'm not even talking about romantically. Like, people, there is that sense at work, at jobs, of like, why are you trying so hard? Make the rest of us look bad. You know what I mean? That's not a romantic thing. That's not a expecting reward for a sexual reward for treating a woman like a fucking human being. That's just, people don't like it. People feel threatened by it. It goes back to the whole lies and truth thing. You tell people the truth, they feel threatened by it. You know, I mean, I'm to go take it to a slightly different place. I'm an atheist. I don't typically make it my business to go around and be like, you're wrong. If you believe in God, you're wrong. I have said that in the past, and I meant it, and I still mean it. But it's not how I prefer to spend my time. And it's not typically productive, and it's not typically worth it. But I have said it, and I have meant it, and I don't, you know, apologize for that. And yet, if, you know, I'm just meeting somebody or I'm talking to somebody and I just go like, oh, they're like, oh, what do you believe? I'm an atheist. Or what's your religion? I'm an atheist. My belief is a distinct lack thereof. And they instantly start to go like, and not everyone. I mean, some people, oh, okay, that's cool. But far too often, it's just, oh, well, why not? Well, how can you say that? How you can't know there's no God? And it's like, I know there's no God the same way I know there's no fucking leprechauns, dude. I was thinking about that the other day, because that's another thing. Because, you know, I watch some atheist programming, mostly because I enjoy the debate of it, because when because there's a call-in show that I actually listen to the podcast of. And there are some people that when when they're just either being honest and they're just like, I just don't understand it. Like, why are you guys? And they're honestly having the conversation. Some good things come out of it. Or if they're making their argument that for what they sincerely believe and they're sincerely arguing it and just being honest, it's very interesting to listen to, I think. But if they're being honest. Oh, so I was going somewhere with. Oh, so what a lot of times what people do when they're not being honest is they start to do this whole like, well, I think God is love. Okay, so what's that mean? And that's what I actually, when I was like, okay, so what's that mean? Because we have a word for love. It's love. So what does calling that God bring to the whole discussion? Well, it's just that feeling you get, that oneness, that's God. Okay, well, why would I call it God? So to the leprechauns, you could say, I could say there's no such thing as leprechauns. I don't believe in leprechauns. I am a leprechaun atheist. Whatever your preferred verbiage is. And you could say, well, I just believe that people with dwarfism, I don't know, I keep trying to put this actually in the shot. People with dwarfism from Ireland, there we go, is this better? This is better. Yeah, see, that's better. People with dwarfism from Ireland are leprechauns. Okay. Under that definition, sure, leprechauns exist. I agree with you that leprechauns exist. But I still don't believe that little magic men with pots of gold at the end of a rainbow exist. So if you want to call that something else, that's fine. And for the sake of conversation, I'll grant you that. But we haven't really achieved anything. Because all you've really done is said, I can't say the thing that I know is a leprechaun to you as a leprechaun. Like, I still don't believe it. Just because you've created a definition that I agree exists doesn't mean I suddenly believe that the other one does. And that's where it's just, I know, this is what I didn't want to do. I didn't want to just do my atheist rant. Because I don't really. It's whatever. But, oh, here we go. But I still don't believe in the magic. So sure, you could say God is love, or God is, my favorite one, and it really is my favorite because I just think it's funny, is, well, the character of God's real. What's that mean? Well, there were these stories, and people attributed them to a God. And so in that sense, the character of God is real. But that character doesn't manifest in the real world. Like, it can't affect events. Right? No, it exists in people's heads. Okay, sure. In that sense, sure, God is real. Just like Darth Vader's real, and Spider-Man's real, and Thanos is real. But what have we accomplished then? All we've agreed upon is people create characters for stories. And then they believe those characters are real or they don't. But those characters can't actually interact with reality beyond the words and actions that people supply them and or attribute to them. So what? Like, what's that matter? But it's because we're just raised in America. And not everyone, of course. If it was everyone, we wouldn't even be having this discussion, but there's this we're raised with God. to be God-fearing Americans. And so even as time goes on, and people kind of look at it and go like, yeah, it kind of is bullshit. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. Rather than just going like, oh, I guess there's no God. Whatever. No biggie. People just reach out and react and try to invent all these justifications for why this thing they were told when they were 5 is real. And I say I don't get it, but I wasn't raised an atheist. I actually became an atheist while I was studying to be a preacher. Like, legit, I had decided that God had called me to preach His word and to help people. Like, I wasn't a brimstone, I wasn't a Westboro, God hates fags kind of person. And I use that not because I believe in that word, but because it's what their signs say. So, you should know what the sign says. And I decided I was going to study the Bible, and I was going to figure out what to do, and maybe get a congregation or seek, or, do something. Do something to help people with the Lord. And just the more I looked into it, the less sense it made. And it's one of those things because people don't get it, because they're just like, oh, it's like, I went with an open heart. I went with a heart that believed. And if your God exists, He apparently don't want me to believe in Him. Sorry. Take it up with Him. Oh. And then that's what, I'm only 33. And this all happened 10 years ago, roughly. Roughly, it was like a process from the time I was 19 to the time I was about 22, 23. But, this is oh, I love it. It looks horrible. I love it. But I held on as long as I did because I loved my dad. My dad was the one that I always talked to about faith in God and what have you. And he was the one that always, well, I wouldn't lie to you. And that was a hard thing for me to realize. And that's what I've tried to explain to him a little bit now, where it's like, I know you wouldn't lie to me. I know you didn't lie to me. And that's, people, it's like, if you're an atheist and your parents aren't, or if you're a Buddhist and your parents are Muslim or whatever, like, they didn't lie to you. They tried to teach you as best they could what they believed, what they thought was right. Assuming they're not shitty people. There are shitty parents and shitty people, so. But assuming they're not shitty people, they were just trying. They're just trying to help. Alright, let's look at this thing. That is horrifying. Alright, guys. Well, that was the first page. Next one will be better. I promise. Actually, let me just do this. That was page 1 of Coloring with Joe. So, thanks for watching if you watched. And, I'll see you later.